Hi, it's Erik, and time for the video conversation for the week. This week we launched the bipartisan New Digital Trade Caucus with my colleague, Susan Delbeni from Washington State, with the purpose of educating our colleagues on the importance of digital trade and commerce, knowing now that well over half of all U.S. service exports are in this category. We want to make sure the United States remains on the new frontier of these opportunities for the future. Now we're going to get to the emails. And the first comes from Kendra in Victoria. She writes in, "Dear Congressman Paulson, I'm writing to request your support for policies that protect and promote the interests of private, employee-owned companies like mine. Representatives Dave Reichert from Washington and Ron Kind of Wisconsin have reintroduced H.R. 2092, the Promotion and Expansion of Private Employee Ownership Act. Last Congress, this bill had 96 bipartisan co-sponsors, making it one of the most bipartisan and popular tax measures introduced in the House. Please support this important bill. Sincerely, Kendra." Actually, Kendra, I am a co-sponsor of this bill, and as we know, there are hundreds of these employee-owned companies, ESOPs, around the country, and quite a few in the state of Minnesota. The good news is the companies that do have this employee ownership model tend to have better economic results for their employees in retirement, and also better economic results in terms of weathering economic recessions that have occurred throughout our economy over a period of time. We do need to make sure we pass this legislation because it'll provide new opportunities for more employee ownership at other small businesses and beyond, including making sure that companies keep their SBA certificates, that they also have an increased flow of bank capital to ESOPs, and they get better technical assistance on how to put this type of a structure together in the first place. So I am a co-sponsor of the bill, and hopefully we'll be able to move that forward. Next up is an email we got from Brad in Maple Grove. And Brad writes in, "Hello, Representative Paulson. I'm very concerned about all the rhetoric that has been coming out about North Korea. Both sides need to take a step back and realize all the harm that could come from a war with North Korea. We need to take a responsible approach to making sure this situation does not get out of hand. I urge you to keep this in mind. Sincerely, Brad." Brad, actually, thanks for sharing your thoughts. As you know, and as most folks have been following in the news, there has been an escalation of rhetoric in the potential conflict that exists on the Korean Peninsula. And it is very important that we do pay attention, knowing that the North Korean regime has been violating international sanctions from the United Nations on ballistic missile tests in particular over the last few years, and is engaging in more nuclear development, which potentially could threaten the United States. Having said that, it is very important to engage with, I think, new economic sanctions. And the House has passed legislation bipartisanly to making sure that we will sanction individuals or countries that do provide any resources to the North Korean government for missile technology, for lethal aid or lethal weapons or rocket fuel or jet fuel. So using those types of sanctions and engaging in diplomacy is the #1 way to go to de-escalate the tension that exists on the Korean Peninsula. And also make sure that we are engaging our Chinese, making sure we're engaging the Chinese government to be a part of this process also. I want to thank everyone for sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your questions for the week. Continue to stay in touch. Have a great weekend. You can reach me anytime, of course, on Facebook, on Instagram, or on Twitter, on the website at paulson.house.gov.